Dear students, in the previous class, we discussed about the quantum theory of Raman effect. Today, we will have a discussion on the classical theory of Raman scattering, which is explained on the basis of polarizability of molecules. First, let's see what is meant by polarization. When a molecule is put in a static electric field, it suffers some distortion. Here, distortion means we know that the molecules or atoms are made up of positively charged nucleus at the center surrounded by negatively charged electrons. So when we put such a molecule in an electric field, the positively charged nucleus will get attracted towards the negative pole of the electric field, as you can see in this figure, and the negatively charged electrons will get attracted to the positive pole of the electric field. Then we say that the molecule suffers some distortion. Now this separation of charge centers is called polarization. So polarization is the separation of charge centers when the molecule is put in an electric field. Now let's see how Raman scattering is explained based on the polarization of molecules. So this polarization or the separation of charge centers causes an induced dipole moment to be set up in the molecule, and we say that the molecule is polarized. And this induced dipole moment depends upon the strength of the applied field E and on the ease with which the molecule can be distorted. That is, we can write the induced dipole moment mu induced is proportional to the strength of the applied electric field E, or mu equals alpha into E, where alpha is called the polarizability of the molecule and E is the strength of the electric field. Now consider a molecule subjected to electromagnetic radiation of a frequency nu, and the electric field experienced by each molecule varies according to the equation E equals E0 sine 2 pi nu t, where nu is the frequency of the radiation and t is the time. The induced dipole will also undergo oscillations with the same frequency nu. We have mu equals alpha into E. So that is equal to alpha into, instead of E, E0 sine 2 pi nu t. So such an oscillating dipole will emit radiation of its own oscillating frequency nu. That is the frequency of the incident radiation. So this gives the classical explanation of Rayleigh scattering. We know that in Rayleigh scattering, the frequency of the incident radiation and the frequency of the scattered radiation will be the same, nu. So here also the molecule which is oscillating will emit the radiation of the same frequency, which is the frequency of the radiation. So this is the classical explanation of Rayleigh scattering. Now, if the molecule undergoes some internal motion like vibration or rotation, and if such vibrations or rotations changes the polarizability periodically, then the oscillating dipole will have superimposed upon the vibrational or rotational oscillation. That is, if the molecule is undergoing any kind of vibrations or rotations which changes the polarizability, then in the previous equation we will have to add the frequency component of the vibrations or rotations also. So consider a vibration of frequency nu vibrational which changes the polarizability as alpha equals alpha 0 plus beta sine 2 pi nu vibrational t. So here alpha 0 is the equilibrium polarizability and beta represents the rate of change of polarizability with the vibration. Nu vibrational is the vibrational frequency of the molecule. So we can represent the equation for dipole moment as mu equals alpha 0 plus beta sine 2 pi nu vibrational t instead of alpha into E0 sine 2 pi nu t. On expanding, we get nu equals alpha 0 E0 sine 2 pi nu t plus beta E0 sine 2 pi nu t into sine 2 pi nu vibrational into t. Now using a trigonometric relation, Sin A sin B equals 1 by 2 cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. So in equation 6, we have sin 2 pi nu t into sin 2 pi nu vibrational t. So this can be considered as sin A sin B. So on expanding sin A sin B, we have mu equals the first term alpha 0 E0 sin 2 pi nu t plus 1 by 2 beta E0 cos 2 pi nu minus nu vibration into t. That is cos A minus B minus cos A plus B, cos 2 pi into nu plus nu vibrational into t. On expanding, we get nu equals alpha 0 E0 sin 2 pi nu t plus 1 by 2 beta E0 cos 2 pi nu minus nu vibrational into t minus 1 by 2 beta E0 cos 2 pi nu plus nu vibrational into t. Here we can see three frequency components: nu, nu minus nu vibrational and nu plus nu vibrational. So the first term, that is alpha 0 E0 sin 2 pi nu t, corresponds to the Rayleigh scattering, as we have seen earlier, because the frequency component is the same as that of the incident radiation. Now the second term has the frequency component nu minus nu vibrational. That means the scattered radiation will have a lesser frequency, and that corresponds to the Stokes lines. While the third term has the frequency component nu plus nu vibrational. That means the scattered radiation will have a greater frequency than the incident one, and this corresponds to the anti-Stokes lines. So the second and the third term together refers to the Raman scattering, which consists of Stokes as well as anti-Stokes lines. Now this is how Raman scattering is explained on the basis of the polarizability theory or the classical theory. Now suppose if the vibrations or rotations does not change the polarizability of the molecule, then beta, which is a rate of change of polarizability, will be equal to 0. So here in the second and the third term, when beta equals 0, these two terms will vanish. Then mu equals alpha 0 E0 sin 2 pi nu t. That means the dipole oscillates only at the frequency of the incident radiation. So when the vibrations or rotations change the polarizability of the molecule, then only in that equation the second and the third term will appear, which corresponds to the Raman scattering. So when beta equals 0, or when the vibrations does not change the polarizability, then the scattered radiation will have the same frequency as that of the incident radiation. So from this, we can deduce the selection rule for Raman spectrum, which states that in order for a vibration or rotation to be Raman active, the vibrations or rotations must cause a change in the molecular polarizability. So this is the most rigorous selection rule or the most essential condition for a molecule to show Raman spectrum. It can be either vibrations or rotations, but such vibrations or rotations must cause a change in the molecular polarizability. Then only such molecules can show Raman spectrum. And we say the molecule is Raman active. So in this class, we have discussed the classical theory of Raman effect or Raman scattering, and we have also seen the selection rule for molecules to show Raman spectrum. So next class, we will discuss about pure rotational and pure vibrational Raman spectrum and what all kind of molecules are Raman active.